Now sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes you are going to have to play right next to the window. So in cases like that, you want to maximize the cover and minimize how much you give the other people to shoot at. So when you're playing next to a window, when you're playing right next to it, what you want to do is come out the corners. The corners actually give you a chance to hide your hopper behind the wall, as well as give you the most protection as you're coming up. You can do this on the left side or the right-hand side, but when you're sliding into the corners, it just makes it so much easier to shoot. Now you don't want to keep on popping up in the middle constantly over and over again. As I said before, predictable people get shot, especially when you're trying to play whack-a-mole. Plus, if you're standing like this in front of a window, it's just giving them this huge target to shoot at, and you really don't want to do that. Small targets. Think small thoughts. Very small. That, and if you're really low to the window and you take one pot shot and like 40 people start shooting at your back, you can duck down even quicker, rather than like if you're standing in the middle of the window like this. Now odds are the next thing you're going to want to do is to start shooting people, because, well, that's the whole purpose of you going in here anyway. And what you want to do is you want to use the advantages of the openings to your advantage. Again, it's threading the needle. Which is easier to thread? A needle that's from this far away from you, or a needle that's this far away from you? Now something else too, if you're going to be setting up shop back here, is you might want to stack your pods. Take your pods out of your pack and then just put them in front of you if you know you're going to be there for a while. Now the reason is, it's a lot easier to reach forward and grab a pod and unload it into your hopper than it is to try to fumble on your back while under fire and do all that stuff back here where you can't see. Now here's the real fun of playing in a building. If you're playing in a building, don't just play one door frame. If there's other windows like that, keep playing the windows. Move back and forth. Keep them guessing. It's that whole unpredictability thing. If you do it right, you can make them think there's 5-6 people inside of one building, and you can stall an entire team. It's possible. You just have to work it. You ain't sweating, you ain't playing. Now there's one other part about buildings that we have to talk about, and that is the third dimension, as in vertical. Some buildings have a second story on them. Now just because there's a staircase going up to the second story doesn't mean that you have to go up there in order to win. Sometimes they put it in there just to really throw you up and mess you up. But there's some angles that you can get from the second story that there's no way that you can get from the first. Not to mention it's fun just to rain paint on other people when they're not looking for it. That's fun. And technically speaking, when you're elevating yourself, when you get higher, you get more range. I say technically because the ball drops further because it takes longer to get to the ground. So you might get somewhere between 30 and 50 more feet of range when you go up a story. Which comes in handy when you're trying to shoot those guys in the back row. Oh yeah. So is this everything that you're going to need to know in order to play buildings? Well, unfortunately not. There's a lot of other skills that you're going to pick up as you go along, but experience is going to be your best guide. So get out there and go play. Have a good time. Catch you next week. And one other thing too, just as a note, if you're wearing cleats and there are wooden stairs and the stairs happen to be wet or paint slick, then you really might want to watch your step. I've learned from personal experience. On a related note, Jerry Braun, I'm still sorry for breaking your paintball field.